Articuno is not exactly renowned for being a very good Pokemon. Like, ever since Articuno was released, I think even back in Generation 1, it has never really been a top threat. And throughout the generations, it has just fallen further and further and further into the abyss of irrelevancy. And for as long as I've been playing competitive Pokemon seriously, at this point over 10 years, it has been trash. Just about everywhere. There's been instances of it in PU, for example, being pretty viable, but generally speaking, this mon has not been able to retain a niche. And coming into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it managed to get worse. Or so we thought. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We upload daily, and if you like competitive Pokemon, this is the place to be. So, what do I mean by or so we thought? Well, Articuno is a very, very, very good Pokemon in current Inu. And is very odd, because what moves did it lose exactly? Just about every move that caused it to have a niche in previous gens. Nothing major, nothing major. There's many nerfs that it got, and one of them is the Roost Power Point thing. 8 power points for a defensive Pokemon on recovery. We've seen that impact, like, everything. I mean, Blissey is in you right now, for crying out loud, in part because of it getting a severe nerf to its power points. Clefable's coming back. It could be worse because of a power point to its recovery. Even something like Toxapex, which has been at the tippity top of comp mons ever since it was released, has notably suffered due to a nerf to its power points. I mean, it was running Assault Vest sets, for crying out loud. I mean, come on. And Articuno is no different. I mean, yeah, this is a significant nerf, because what are some sets that have been good on Articuno before? It's run things like Sub Roost, a nice little pressure stall set, and that's pretty useful on, say, Stall, because with Stall, I feel like there's a bit of a misconception that all you are trying to do is sit around for 1,000 turns and, either draw your game or, make your opponent rage quit. And that's not really how Stall plays. Stall does want to have what we call win conditions, a way you can look at your team and go, this is how I win this game. And one of those historically has been to run Substitute plus Roost with Pressure Articuno. And yeah, you could win games by stalling your opponent very, very effectively out of their power points, and you just beat them like that. So that's one, but what did it lose moves-wise? Because again, lost just about everything that made it good, right? Well, it lost Defog. Articuno in Inu has been viable in, say, Gen 7 for its spot and stall, because it was a fine enough defogger. You ran like 3 defoggers or hazard control options on that kind of team, but Articuno was still fine for it because you had a decent matchup against, like, Palisand as a hazard setter. If you ran into something like a Clefairy, I mean, that's just a matchup you are very happy in. It's not the worst matchup into Druddigon ever either. Like, Stall in that gen, it's going to have a Xatu, but Mold Breaker Druddigon would just bypass it. So, Articuno's a nice option there. So no defog. Okay, that's fine, it's fine. Oh, wait, we lost Heal Bell too. Oh. So I can't be a Cleric either. Well, that's okay. Surely I can run... Nope, you can't run Toxic either. Ah. Right. So, Articuno, again, losing Roost power points, and in losing 2 specific roles it could fill on a team, in addition to the best progress-making move that bulky Pokemon have, outside of maybe just setting entry hazards. And somehow Articuno got better. So, what does Articuno do in Inu right now? Well, this is the set. There are, of course, variations on it, but this has been the set we've seen Articuno running for the past month and a half or so. And the idea is simple. Articuno is really, really bulky. And there are a lot of bulky setup sweepers in Inu. Articuno's really fast, though, for a bulky Pokemon, so as a result, it is one of the best answers to every bulky setup sweeper in Inu. I'm gonna just go down the list, and we're about to see a ton of mons that get absolutely just rammed. Blissey? You're running, like, the 1 Combine Blissey? Yeah, nice try, bozo. Dunsparce? Nice try, bozo. Even, like, Electros? Nice try, idiot. Mesprit? Okay, Ratio, dummy. Even, like, Coil Sandacondo. Y'all, if you watched a video with me and AIM, watch all of our videos, by the way. Like, what are you doing if you don't? You'll remember we had a Coil Sandaconda against an Articuno. We could not break the Haze Articuno. Having us, I think it was Stone Edge Coil Sandaconda, we could not get past it. Bulk Up Ursaring? Lol. Lamau even. All of these Pokemon are checked by Haze Articuno and just completely contained. Because it's so hard to break. And, of course, Terastallizing has helped this. And this is one of the Pokemon that I did have some hope coming into the Gen 4. Keep in mind, Articuno was released with Pokemon Home. And so as a result, there were all the rumors talking about, you know, okay, are moves coming back, or are they staying gone, or are they coming back? So we didn't really know if Articuno was losing moves like, say, Defog. And so as a result, you know, like, I'm kind of excited for its potential in NU. I'm like, okay, well, if it gets these moves back, surely it'll be okay. Or surely it'll be good. And it didn't get the moves back. I'm like, oh, wait, so is Articuno just gonna be bad then? And it dropped. And I'm like, wait, this one's probably actually pretty good, right? Not for this set. I was thinking about offensive because we have no steel types in the tier. But I was like, okay, well, maybe Articuno can actually do something. Because Terastallizing, you know, I can even let my Articuno take a knockoff and it's not a big deal at all. But Terastallizing helps it in so many different matchups. Like, it's actually kind of unfair. There are a lot of viable Terra types. Ghost is the one I would mention first. Because Dunsparce might be a Pokemon I said this checks that you're thinking, does it really though? You know, Calm Mind, I think people are going to immediately say, yeah, sure, you beat Calm Mind very easily. But Coil, you know, that's the broken set. It runs that all the time. By the way, as I'm recording this, Dunsparce is banned from NU. Well, it's not banned yet, but I know as the time it's uploaded, it's banned, so, yeah. But you might look at that and you go, oh, how the hell were you checking that? Well, Terra Ghost. That way you can't get paralyzed. Also, if you're under Calm Mind, I mean, hey, now you're immune to Boom Burst. Weak to Shadow Ball, but that's fine. This mon is so bulky, who cares? And, of course, being a Ghost type helps versus all of these other mons, too. Because Bulk Up Ursaring commonly only has Play Rough as a move to hit you with anyway. It wasn't doing damage before, it's not doing now. Mesprit, now if it's like, say, Terra Electric, well, it doesn't have a move for you anymore to hit you super effectively. Electros, obviously, we're talking the same deal there. Thunder Punch, no longer super effective against you. You become so much more obnoxious to take out. And although there are a lot of Dark types in the tier, not like I'm trying to check any of them anyway. I mean, Bombardier, you know, I don't want to take a knockoff. Umbreon, I mean, that's not doing anything to me anyway. But I'd rather avoid a Thunder Wave. Hisuian Quillfish, well, I don't really want to get Barb Barraged or Crunched anyway. And it will just spike up versus me, so these aren't Pokemon that you're gonna be worried about anyway, so who cares? Other Terra types that we've seen as well. Poison is a good shout, because this mon actually can be a decent check to, say, Toxicroak or Hisuian Sneasel. One, because you could always try and bait that you have Hurricane. That's, you know, that's a very integral part of competitive Pokemon, trying to make your opponent think certain things that aren't true. You've seen me go in many lives, oh wait, he's Scarf. No, I've been had. Because, yeah, I mean, it's just part of the battle. Mental warfare is very standard in comp mons, and so those mons might think you have Hurricane, so they could switch. Once they find out you don't, maybe now they start thinking, alright, well, I'll Sword Stance, and then I'll just Gunk Shot them. And while Terra Ghost would obviously still help versus that, Poison is a bit nicer in the sole instance of not worrying about being, you know, say, poisoned by Gunk Shot. And that's kind of how also you can look at the Dunsparce angle. Dunsparce, at the very end of its time in NU, did start running Poison Jab a little bit, because it wanted to be okay versus Ghosts. And a very common countermeasure to Dunsparce was Terra Ghost. Terra Fairy as well on certain Pokemon. You'd see that run so Dun couldn't phase him with Dragon Tail. So that's where that could also play in to the whole, you know, checking Pokemon thing. And then, of course, Terra Steel being another just generally great option. We've seen Cryogonal run it consistently, and it's no different for Articuno. You know, it helps you check, say, Specs Mesprit a lot better, and even, I guess, Specs Appleton, because you don't want... Draco does a lot otherwise, and so that's helpful. It's also just a generally really powerful defensive typing. SD Scyther you check better with this. You check even, say, I just saw it here, Magneton. It is nice if your Terra type actually lets you resist one of its moves. And although it's still doing a million, the EV spread that I put on this Articuno does outspeed timid max speed Magneton, so I think that's pretty valuable. And of course, Freeze Dry as well, very nice. Help you actually be able to hit something like a Bruxish or a Clawitzer or a Samurott. And as we learned, yeah, that is still more valuable than Ice Beam being slightly stronger. Also the power points. You know, this is defensive mon. You want it to be around for a long time. And you've got a move with 32 power points. That's very good. That's going to be it for me though for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm actually just... I'm so glad to have been, like, right, but also wrong about Articuno. I am shocked it's as good as it's been, but yeah, I mean, in a metagame dominated by slower setup sweepers, a mon that's able to just outspeed and constantly get rid of their boosts, it's really good. But I hope y'all are staying safe. I'll be back sometime soon. And once I'm back, don't worry, I'll respond to every comment that I get. Until then, though, stay safe. I'll catch you next time. Peace.